Most people are familiar with public podcasts. So obviously, if you're listening to this episode, you know that this is an amazing public podcast. Private podcasts operate, they look, they feel, they play in the same podcast apps that you're used to, your favorite podcast apps. With private podcasts, you can actually control how that content gets delivered, and it can be listener specific. Your access links are actually tied to a specific listener email address, which allows you to put premium gated content into a private podcast. So you can now podcast all sorts of stuff. You can podcast all sorts of content, from your course to your webinar to your email newsletters, and it can be so easy to be able to see who's listening and for how long. There's so many use cases. I'm excited to talk about this because private podcasts aren't well known, but they're so useful for getting noticed.